Signing on for today's lesson. And our quote for the day is, "Don't be too proud to apologize when you are wrong." Now, how many of us can admit, and I say us because I'm going to include myself in that number, how many of us can admit that we don't like to be wrong? And how many of us can admit that we don't like to admit when we are wrong? And how many of us can admit that we don't like to have to apologize when we are wrong? Yeah, no. None of that feels good. None of it feels pleasant or enjoyable because we just don't like to be wrong. And so I think about an experience I had, and this is it's a funny experience. At least it was funny to me. That years ago, when I was in a department in a counseling teaching position, and in the department, and we had gone into a faculty meeting, and one of the ladies in the meeting, one of my colleagues, she said something directed at me that I didn't like. I have a lot more self control now than I used to have when I was younger. Again, life lessons, lessons I've learned in my coming up on 60 years. And before I knew it, I was up out of my chair, standing over this lady, kind of like reading her the riot act. But my version of reading people the riot act, like, I don't raise my voice. I'm not a person that believes in raising my voice. And just very calmly did what many would term like put her in her place. But it was very unprofessional. The stance I took, like I said, I stood over her, so it was very aggressive. And I know those of you who know me are thinking, not you. Yes, me. And I let her have it, but in a very calm, quiet way, but still fairly aggressive. And then I sat down, and we finished the meeting. And so we finished out the day at work. I think that meeting was probably on a Friday because I remember like having a weekend and feeling just really, really, really bad about how I had handled that situation. Now, that's not to say that there won't be situations that need to be addressed and need to be dealt with, but there's a way to do things, and that was not the right way. And so when I got to work, and now that I think about it, I don't think it was a Friday. That was a Tuesday. Oh, my Friday story will come in one of my later lessons. I was getting my stories confused. That was actually on a Tuesday because I remember after the meeting having to get in my car. I was living in Clarksville and driving to Nashville to go to my ministers in training course, and just really feeling bad in the car as I was driving to Nashville. And again, knowing that the way I had handled that was not right at all. And so the next day, when I got to campus, I went to her office to find her. And I went to apologize because I knew that how I had handled that, I was wrong. I was in the wrong. And so I went to her office door and I knocked. I asked her if she had a minute. She said yes. I walked in, I closed the door, and I just said to her, I want to apologize to you for the way I handled the situation yesterday. That was not professional. It should not have been handled that way. It shouldn't have been done in the meeting, in front of everyone. I could have come to you like one on one and just, kind of made my discontent or whatever it was, my disagreement known. And so there was more than one lesson in that for me. So, I'm thinking she's going to say, okay, well, thank you for your apology. No problem. I accept it. Well, she proceeded to, repeat. Ew, I felt like something just, again, blew out of my mouth. It's a good thing you all aren't in here with me. She repeated what she had said in the meeting and then like co-signed on, yes, you were wrong, the way you handled it, the way you managed it, the whole bit. And of course, initially I'm tempted to like, lady, don't play with me, go off again. But I just said like very politely, well, I just wanted to apologize. I won't keep you any longer. And I turned and I walked away. So the other part of that lesson that I learned is that when you do acknowledge that you were wrong or in the wrong and you apologize, it may not be received the way you want it to, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't still need to happen. Because how that person responds to it and reacts to it is on them, but the fact that you do it and get it done is on you. So it was on me to go and make the apology. What she did with it, that was on her. Because I was able to clear my conscience, to clear my heart, to clear my mind, of how that had been handled. So sometimes the response you will get will not be what you want it to be, but your intention should be, again, just I'm going to go and make the apology, whether they receive it or not. I'm going to do what I know is right because I know I was in the wrong, and I'm going to make that right. And you don't do it in a way that degrades the other person or anything like that, but you do it in a way that just really expresses your heart and your heart intent to make a situation right. And so learn from my lesson. If you find yourself in the wrong or being wrong, go and make it right. Make it right. Don't be too proud to apologize when you know you were wrong, even if that apology is not accepted or received the way that you think it will be, or the way you think it will be, should be. Could we say should be? Well, anyway, if it's not received as you expect it to be received, just do your part and make the apology. The rest is on them. Okay? So learn from my life lesson. Hashtag life lessons, hashtag listen and learn, hashtag words of wisdom. Don't be too proud to apologize when you know you are in wrong. When you know you are wrong. Yeah, that's it. Signing off.